Hark! It's World Sake Day, people, and it's a celebration. We're drinking special edition sake, eating delicious food, and partaking in World Sake Day traditions that are either centuries old or completely fabricated by a really charming black guy. You be the judge. If you're new to the channel, Sake Boss is all about demystifying sake, because let's face it, if I told you this was an extra large bottle of soy sauce, you'd probably believe me. With sake, there's levels to this, which is why Sake Boss only features premium sake. So if you've ever had sake that tasted a little off, like maybe Bill Cosby had an undue influence over the contents of your beverage, that wasn't premium sake. Yes, it is World Sake Day, my friends. Easily my favorite holiday. Better than St. Patty's Day, Kwanzaa, and even Festivus. World Sake Day is a tribute to Earth's finest beverage. It's celebrated every October 1st, and it marks the official beginning of the sake brewing season. Originally, it was only celebrated in Japan, but now it's worldwide. I think we're all happy to finally celebrate something highly contagious from Asia that's spread globally. Too soon? So I know you're curious about my package over here. Well, I've chosen a special bottle that exemplifies how sake is truly becoming a drink of the world. This is an amazing sake that is made locally in America, in Brooklyn, New York, at a badass brewery called Kato Sake Works. This is their flagship sake called Junmai, and I was lucky enough to snag a special edition World Sake Day bottle because I know a guy who directed me to their website, katosakeworks.com. Okay, enough yakking, let's get to cracking. Let's go. This is fragrant as f. First thing I'm getting here is super ripe banana and cinnamon. Definitely some Granny Smith apple. I'm even getting some dates here. Oh, this is opening up and I'm getting some cantaloupe. This smells amazing. All right, you know what time it is. For a relaxing time, make it sippy time. Woo! Beautiful. Dude, that hits all the right notes. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's an explosion of flavor. You get apple, pear, peach, but it's not too sweet, because on the finish you get a nice little bite of watermelon rind. So it's balanced on both ends. This is not one of those subtle sakes that you really need to think about. I mean, it just smacks you right in the face with dopeness. I love this sake because it's an anytime sake. But I'm telling you, this is danger zone delectable. I just crushed that glass in record time and I have no regrets. So nice to have a sake brewery that's local because the sake is so young and fresh and brash. If you live in New York, you need to go to Kato Sake Works right now. They'll give you a free sample and you'll never look back. Yeah, so I know what you're thinking. Sake Boss, why is this called Junmai? Well, Junmai translates to pure rice, which means that it's only made with the 4 traditional sake ingredients. Super clean. This is one of the reasons why I prefer sake to wine, because you actually know what's in it. Wine is often a liquid Trojan horse of added sugars, artificial flavors, and sundry garbage. Pro tip, anytime someone tells you to put something unidentified in your mouth and to not ask questions, ask questions. So this is classified as Junmai, but it's actually a bit fancier than that. It's something called a Junmai ginjo, and that means that the rice used to make it was milled down to the starchy center to make for a more elegant and aromatic sake. What? What's that sound? That means it's time for a World Sake Day tradition that I may or may not have invented. It's time for the ceremonial masu sip. A masu is a wooden box that's been used to drink sake for hundreds of years. Originally though, it was used to measure out a portion of rice, because that's how Japanese farm workers were paid once upon a time. Now, legend has it that after a hard day's labor, the workers would take their masu to the bar to use it to make sure the bartender gave them a fair portion of sake. Eventually, it became a standard for 1 cup of sake. Boss knowledge. Now, let me show you how to use this. It can be tricky because it's square, so it's really easy to spill. Peep the technique. Oishi. Now this delicious sake and kick-ass Kato Sake Works sponsor almost didn't come to be. Let me tell you why. Years ago, the founder of Kato Sake Works moved from Tokyo to Tennessee, where there's an amazing craft beer scene, and he wanted to share his own Japanese beverage culture with the locals, but the sake available in the area sucked. Not gonna name names. So, like a boss, he taught himself to homebrew his own sake, started sharing it at parties, people loved it. Naturally, he decided to quit his job, move to New York, and open a brewery. Legendary. He spent over a year building the brewery by hand, learning how to make sake at scale, getting licenses, and creating an open tap room for people to come together, drink, and learn about sake as a community. He was ready to open his doors. One problem. It was March of 2020 in New York City and things were about to come crashing down. Bro. Luckily, this man is a fucking champion. He didn't let COVID crush his dreams. He fought to stay alive, changed plans, made a website to take orders, did contactless curbside delivery, figured out how to bottle to supply restaurants and bars around the city. Unbelievable resilience. And it paid off. Now he's thriving and can barely keep up with demand. I mean, it's really crazy. Now he makes tons of dope products like Junmai, Yuzu, Tokubetsu, Nigori, Nama, Shizuku, Miri. I really look up to this guy. I'm proud to call him a friend. And in my opinion, he's a fucking superhero. Allow me to introduce you to Shinobu Kato. He's always got a smile. He's a sake legend in the making. And he's got the best head of hair in the business. Look at those lustrous locks. What? You know what that means. Time for another World Sake Day tradition that I may or may not have concocted. Join me in the lighting of the Sake Day candle and the ceremonial Sake Day wish. I wish for some tasty food and more sake. What? Korean spicy soy glazed fried chicken and Kato Sake Works Tokubetsu? It's a World Sake Day miracle. You know how we do the sake sandwich. Sip, eat, sip again. Woo! Dog. This is not fair. What a combo. Fam, let me tell you why this is so good. When you have a really savory dish, you want a sake that can stand up to it. This Tokubetsu, it's rich, it's caramely, it's got hits of toffee and chocolate, dark fruit like cherry, plum. The umami level is off the charts. These two complement each other so well. Sake Boss strikes again. Let's proceed. Whatever Lord you believe in, praise the Lord. If you don't believe in any Lord, praise Kato Sake Works. Care for some pickled radish? That pickled radish is sweet, sour, and funky. This Tokubetsu is a perfect match because it's got its own funk. You can't get this in wine, you can't get this in beer. This is uniquely sake. The cool thing about Kato Sake Works is that they're always innovating. Tokubetsu means special. It can mean a special type of rice, a special type of yeast, any kind of special preparation that might make it distinct from the other things the brewery makes. In the case of Kato Sake Works, Tokubetsu is made periodically. It's small batch, always new. And this time it was made using the Kimoto method, which means earthy, robust, savory, and beautiful. Richer than Bezos. Guys, come on, a black man eating Korean fried chicken, drinking Japanese sake brewed in Brooklyn, that's what World Sake Day is all about. What? Oh, time for another World Sake Day tradition, the recitation of haiku. Haiku requires fresh pour. Splash. A stroke of luck. Tasty drops to fill my cup. Sake is dope as Sake Boss, Poet Laureate. I'm basically Amanda Gorman with a beard. In all seriousness though, I cannot say enough good things about Shinobu Kato and Kato Sake Works. By creating delicious locally produced sake, he's not just sharing his culture, but creating community and making something foreign familiar. And not only that, he's teaching the next generation of sake brewers. Look at his apprentice, Joni, for instance. You probably wouldn't think she's a sake brewer, but she's got skills. She had a hand in making all the amazing sake I've been drinking today. And the future of American sake brewing is bright. With more folks like Shinobu and Joni, we'll have sake at every bar and on every dinner table across the nation. Mark my words. The thing that perfectly encapsulates the Kato Sake Works philosophy is its unique sugidama. Traditionally, a sugidama is a green ball of cedar hung outside a sake brewery to signify the first fresh sake of the season. But at Kato Sake Works, the sugidama is a disco ball to indicate that there's always fresh sake. It's always a party and you're always welcome. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Follow me on Insta. Follow Kato Sake Works. And if you're ever in New York, skip the Statue of Liberty and get up in that brewery. Until next time, if you sip something, sip sake. Am I a real person? How did I drink so much?